I did today's video yesterday, but I went to post it, and it's just, when I was editing it, it was just way too much of a personal info exposition dump. And I know not a lot of people watch, but all it takes is the wrong person to watch, and you could have a lot of problems, because people are fucking psychotic. So I mean, some are, so you gotta be careful. But the main thing, well, the interest, not the interest, I don't know if it's interesting, it's up to you if it's interesting or not, but the thing I want to talk about from that is World War III, which I keep hearing a lot about and seeing a lot about. Excuse me. You know, on the message boards and things like that. Paul was talking about it a lot. That is just never going to happen. For a couple of reasons. The main reason being, I mean, as far as nuclear exchange, there are no nuclear weapons, as we've been told there have been, and as it's been explained to us. It was a way to create fear, and a good part of any mind control, or a necessary part of mind control, is fear and trauma. And the fear of nuclear war traumatized an entire generation, my generation. I mean, it was always in the back of my mind. It's crazy. That spell worked on me, because like everything else, it is a spell. You know, this is all spell crap. And it was like always in the back of my mind. It's funny, I'd be thinking like, you know, when I get older, I'd like to do this and that. And I'm like, you know, if I can make it happen before the nuclear war happens, like I was certain that was going to go down, because it made it sound like so close to the edge and so easy to happen. It was just moments away. And the media of the day was just inundated with it. I mean, you couldn't even escape with Iron Maiden. You know, they were giving you 2 minutes to midnight. Great track, by the way. But in America, we had the Day After film with Jason Robards. It was about the day after nuclear war, basically, and all the horrors that came along with it. And that was a scary movie. You know, that really stuck in my head as a kid. It was awful. And that had the intended effect. That's what it was supposed to do. In the UK, they had Where the Wind Blows, The Wild Wind Blows, which had some music by Bowie and Roger Waters. Actually, Bowie was supposed to do the whole soundtrack, but for whatever reason, he couldn't, he didn't have time or something, and he ended up only doing one of the tracks, the title track of the film, and Roger Waters picked up the slack on it, which I think he was the perfect guy to do it. They should have went to him first. But yeah, I just watched that recently for the first time, just to see what it was like. And to me, that was worse, because it's one thing to have like actors in a movie. You can kind of, you know, it's horrifying still, but when you get these little cartoon people that are just so pleasant and adorable, the old man and the old woman, and I'm watching it and I'm just like, they're really gonna do this? You know, they're gonna traumatize people here with this thing. And it ended up being way more awful than I even expected. It's just like you're watching the horror unfold for these two little cartoon characters, these very relatable older couple living in the countryside, and I just watched it getting angry, thinking, these motherfuckers, these scumbag Satanist fucking gross asshole fruitcakes, what they're doing, look what they did, you know, trying to terrorize people with this stuff. Awful, awful, awful. Meanwhile, the actual weapons don't exist. You know, they don't. Because, well, what about Hiroshima? Hiroshima was firebombed. If you look at all the evidence of the bombing, it's all consistent with firebombing. It's the same thing, it's the exact same thing they did to Dresden. Make a wish? Yeah, it's the same thing they did to Dresden. If it was what they said it was, they wouldn't be able to build there. Now you look at it now, it doesn't look like anything happened there. you know, and it's also super clean because the Japanese are super clean. You could have dinner off the floor in the subway in Japan, it's so clean. And then you go to America, it's like, oh, fucking pigs. What a dirty fucking country we have. But yeah. Yeah, that wild wind blows, or wild the wind blows, or wild wind blows? I don't know. Not really a great Bowie track either. It seems kind of tossed off. You can tell it's from that Absolute Beginners kind of era where it's a bit schmaltzy. You know, like if he had done that same song in the 70s, would have been way better. But by the mid 80s, he was in Let's Dance mode, and it was just schmaltzy as fuck. It was bad. But anyway, yeah, it made me angry, you know, because you think of the scumbags behind this, you know, that try to terrorize people. And they have to, because fear is like the greatest mind control. If you can keep people in a fear state, shit, you can get them to do anything you want. Set a bomb off in a neighborhood and go out there with the Red Cross shirt on, those people will do anything you tell them. Anything, you know? Because your fear emotion will override your critical thinking. Now, I've had that happen to me many times. And later I'll be like, what the fuck? Why didn't I just do this? It's like, because your critical thinking skills were submerged by the uptick in your fear response, you know? Like when we got the thing with the missile warning a few years ago here, you know, I wasn't critically thinking, so I wasn't like, you know, and even then I knew that I knew the nuclear thing couldn't be real, but I thought maybe it would be just an ICBM, like some kind of missile attack, not nuclear, and that would still be bad, you know. But critical thinking, were it to not be submerged, would say, no, why would they do this? It's stupid. They would be obliterated right away. The thinking was at that time it was North Korea, which would be dumb. Why would they hit Hawaii? There'd be no strategic gain at all, and they would be obliterated shortly afterward, or at least attacked. But at the time, I was like, oh shit, I guess this is it, you know. So we're, you know, we go behind the Bowie door in the bathroom, like that's gonna help. Although I have added Queen pictures to it, so hopefully it'll hold up better. Should I do the joke? Yeah. Under pressure. Okay, joke over. So I had, we were in the bathroom just making phone calls to people. I talked to a few people that would know what's up. Had someone that had eyes on Pearl Harbor, and they were like, no, there's no movement at all here. So, I mean, I kind of, even at the time, I was like, yeah, this can't be really happening. But the message they sent was like, specifically saying this is not a drill, this shit's going down. So later, when you're out of that emotional fear response, you start thinking critically. But not only is that there are no nuclear weapons, and my sources on that are no, that's my sources on that. Dude, trust me. Yeah, dude, trust me about the nuclear weapons. Those are my sources. Fucking deal. So the other thing too is that all these countries that are supposedly out don't like each other. They're all the same country. We have a one world government. We have had a one world government for a very long time. And these countries coordinate these wars together with each other. Wars are mainly a show for us, so that these countries can go other places and do a bunch of evil shit, like kill a bunch of people, destroy a bunch of architecture that they don't want around, because it doesn't fit into the narrative, or because of other reasons. I just watched a documentary about Al-Qaeda, which translates in Arabic to the toilet, which is should be a red flag. Why would you name your terrorist organization the toilet, you know? But anyway, it was showing them going to a site to destroy some site. some ancient holy site that had all these statues and this temple. And on the news, or the news reports are like, you know, crazy terrorist organization destroys, you know, holy site because they're mean. You know, no, they went there to take that place apart, like a construction job. If you look at the pictures from this particular incident, if I can find the video, I'll make it in the comments. But you look at the site, they took that thing apart like it was a demolition job, backhoes, the whole deal. And it shows them arriving at the site, and it's funny because they got all these flags that are all printed the same, perfect dimensions, right? Nice printing on it. It's supposed to be a terrorist organization, you know, yet they all have the same kind of flags that were all beautifully printed. It's like you guys go to the you get a deal with the Iraqi Kinkos for that. They try to throw you off by having them drive old Toyotas. So they can be like, see, look, they're in Toyota trucks. They're a ragtag terrorist group. And then everybody's got the same black pleated pants, and I mean, the glow is coming off it for miles, you know. And then they go there and they just take this whole site apart, professionally, just take it apart, everything, and then cart it all off. Interestingly, too, with this particular site, they had these giant statues that were built as sentries that were supposed to ward demons off this plane of existence. So, I mean, you know, no coincidence there. They had to take these things down. But yeah, all the countries are one country. You know, before I always kind of suspected this, but it takes a while to come around to accept the whole thing as a thought. And there was a point, like even not too long ago, when I was thinking about terrorist organizations, and I'm like, you know, whenever they want to destroy or take over a country, or for whatever reason, you know, to gain control of their whatever resource, they create, you know, the CIA with the Mossad together. The CIA and the Mossad are the same thing. They're the same thing. They're like the same organization. Again, it's just show for us that they're separate countries. No, the Mossad's the Israeli spooks, and CIA is the Americans. No, it's the same thing. So what they do is, I'd say, you know, they go to these countries, install their fake terrorist organization, and then say, well, we're going to go fight them. And I used to think, like, how do they get this fake terrorist organization in there? Do they go in there pretending to be from that area and then recruit people from that area that have a bone to pick with America? And that's like, no, don't do any of that. They just roll right in because it's the same government. All these countries are all the same government. And it goes back a long time. You can look at the Antarctic Treaty, where basically every nation on Earth signed off on this pact that said no one can go to Antarctica for any reason ever, unless we say it's okay, and if not, we shoot you. So even though these nations all hate each other, they got together and said, yeah, you know, we got to protect the penguins. And I would have thought, like, with the rollout of the coop stuff over the past couple of years, kind of would have clued people in on this. When you have the same diameter and color sticker in Belgium and China and the US, which is exact in every way except for the writing of the language. I mean, did they get a break at Kinko's too on this? They're all the same. All the signage is the same. And again, these supposed to be countries that supposedly hate each other, right? So they all agreed on everything about this. They agreed on the mandates. They agreed, yes, 6 feet. Yeah, China, is that good with you? Yes, 6 feet's good with us. Is that good with you, Iraq? Yep, yeah, okay. You know, and they all said, yeah, you know, lockstep, we're going to do this thing together, even though we hate each other. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's like wrestling. You know, we watch, well, you might not watch, but, you know, I did because I'm fucking cool. Hulk Hogan fighting Macho Man, and they hate each other, going to kill each other. And then after the match, they go and they have a beer together. It's all kayfabe. It's all just for our benefit, so we don't ask questions when they want to destroy a city, kill a lot of people, which is a great way to sacrifice for them. It gets the youngest and most able-bodied men to die in the thousands, hundreds of thousands. Destroy holy sites, buildings that just don't fit within the narrative of the fake history we've been told about. It's a win-win for those guys. Yeah, so there's not going to be a World War III. It's just more fear-mongering. If something does happen, it'll be some regional thing that they'll report, like, oh, this city was destroyed. And it won't even really be something that happens. Because when your enemy controls the media, all of it, you know, they could basically tell you whatever they want. People are too busy digging the gold to try to survive, to live. And it's no coincidence that as things get crazier and things ramp up on a global scale, the price of everything goes up. And that way it keeps people working extra hard. Now you have to run 3 times as fast to stay in the same place, keep a roof over your head. So if you didn't have time before to stop and say, hey, wait a minute, now you really don't have time to do it. They've been running the show for a long time this way. It's all right, though. It's still all coming to an end. And I think we're going to see it, you know. God willing. Don't blame the teacher. Blame the school.